Hi, I'm Brian. Welcome to my hobby space. In this video, I'll show you how to paint your first miniature. Painting miniatures should be relaxing and fun. It's a hobby after all. So right off the bat, I'd like to say to never compare yourself to pros that you might see on the internet or in magazines. They're pro, that's their job. That's not what we're here for. We're here just to have fun. Let's just try to enjoy the process and the satisfaction that we can get from painting little people. That should be enough, right? I mean, little small bits of happiness sprinkled throughout our life. The painting process is different for everyone. Some people like to start at one part of the miniature, someone might start somewhere else. I like to just block in all the colors on the miniature. I found it kind of counterintuitively, but it's easier to paint a little miniature with the biggest brush that you can possibly get away with. Recently, I can do a whole model with like a size 3 or 4 brush. When you're painting miniatures, you might think, I need a little itty bitty tiny weeny brush. We don't need that. Just get a nice brush that's not huge, big honky brush, but get a nice 2 or a 3 or a 4. That's just the number on the side of the brush. Somewhere between a 2 and a 4 would be a good place to start with, I think. First, I'll start by painting my miniatures metallic parts. I'll paint all the metallic parts black for their base color. Then I'll go in and I'll paint their clothes, their belts, any pouches, water bottles, boots, and all that other stuff. And the skin too. After everything's been painted, you probably are going to have to go back and touch up some spots where one paint got on a different spot. Don't worry about that. It happens. It happens to everybody, really. The more you paint, the less it happens, but it still happens. Don't worry about it. Just go back, give them a light touch up. You'll be all good to go. When you're painting and you see a spot that you don't think is perfectly covered yet, don't worry about it. Let it dry before you ever go back and touch it again. So just keep going around the whole model, get everything a nice first coat before you go back and touch anything up. After the base coats have all been applied, next I like to do the highlighting. I start with a dry brushing on all the metallics. Just take a large brush or a makeup brush or kind of an older brush, dip on some paint, brush most of it off, and then kind of pull that over the tops of your miniature. It'll apply highlights to just the raised areas of the miniature. Dry brushing is a simple way to get kind of nice results quickly and simply. But dry brushing is really simple, it's really fast, and it's a great beginner technique. A little side note though is not to dry brush with pure white. Take the base color that you used, add some white or a yellow or a pink to it to brighten it up, and then use that to highlight or to dry brush with. Using just straight white for highlighting is a no-no. Don't do that. It'll really mess with the contrast on the paint colors. Once all your highlights are dry, your miniature's good for the next layer, what we're going to do is add shades or washes. This is a really thin paint that goes down into the crevices of the miniature. It makes those areas a little darker still. And my favorite one is Agrax Earth Shade by Games Workshop. It's just a great beginner shade. You can kind of put it on everything. And then on the metal parts, I'll use a black wash or a blue wash. The blue wash will give it a shinier, more of like a steel metal look. So once you've put all your washes on your miniature, put that sucker down. Get up, get out of the room, go get a coffee, go listen to the birds, do something else, but give your miniature time to dry before you touch it with any more paint. After the wash, that's going to actually darken everything. It goes mostly into the cracks and crevices, but it does kind of darken everything down a little. So we need to bring the highlights back up. That means going back to our base color, mix with some brighter colors into it, yellows, whites, pinks, brighten up your base color. Do another light dry brushing, or just kind of touch lightly, put some on the high raised surfaces. And that'll bring up the bright spots on your miniature again, and it'll look really great. Use your own common sense and discretion as to how much highlights you want or how little highlights you want, as for the model that you're painting, as how dark or how shiny you're going to want them to be. In no time at all, you've got your first miniature painted. Congratulations! You should feel great about that. You should feel really happy and proud at all the hard work you've done. And now, go get another couple miniatures and try again. Just take your time, get familiar with the process, and in no time you're going to have your own best practices for painting. You'll find the colors that you like, you'll find the mixtures that you like. I would recommend maybe making a little memo while you're painting of what colors you used on the clothes, what colors you used on their belts. Later on, if you want to paint another miniature similar to this one, you'll have everything that you did written down, and so you can make another guy look kind of similar. There are a plethora of paint companies out there to choose from. Some are more expensive, some are a lot more reasonably priced. I'd recommend to choose the paints that you like based on your wallet. All of the paints will work more or less equally well, so pick the ones that you can afford to buy. Personally, I really like to use Games Workshop's contrast paints. I know they're expensive, but they really speed up my painting process, and I enjoy using them. I also use a lot of Vallejo paints, which are a lot less expensive, and I've been adding those slowly to my painting roster as I go. When I got started, I didn't use either. I was using a beginner paint set from Reaper Miniatures, and it had, 10 or 12 paints in it. It was everything I needed to get started, basically. Army Painter recently has a new kind of paint, and they have a start painting set, and I'd say that's probably a really good choice too. So if I was getting started painting today, I'd choose either the Reaper miniature sets or the Army Painters getting started painting set. Did I miss anything? Is there any part of the painting process that you'd like to hear more about? Drop a comment down below. I love getting them, and I always read them. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support, and I hope you all enjoy painting as much as I do. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and keep enjoying the hobby. I'd like to say this is my first video after hitting the 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm so excited. It's amazing. 1,000 subscribers. I never thought this day would happen. So thank you to everybody so much for subscribing to the channel and liking the channel. It really means the world to me. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Bye now.